Hello everybody, this is my presentation on my website and my Apex project. I'm using Explain Everything, which is on the iPad for $1.99. Has a lot of great features, just wanted to put a plug in for it.
Welcome to my website. I've kind of restructured it from a previous website that I've had. I kind of ditched that, and going through this Google Summit, I thought it was really important to start fresh and be able to use some of the knowledge that I have about my curriculum, Common Core, and now these Google tools, and kind of combine them into a website that will lead my classes through the curriculum and be able to use some of the Google tools to help with that. So this homepage will be helpful for parents, teachers, and students alike, and especially new students, to kind of get familiar with what's expected and the layout of this website. My website will also have some instructor info. They'll know that I'm married. They'll know that I have 2 sons, and that's why I'm kind of crazy all the time. And they'll know my work history and, of course, my education history, knowing that I'm continuing to grow as an educator each year. So one of the domains that I have is the number system. And I think it's pretty important to start off with a joke, but they're not going to understand this joke for a while. What do you mean this relationship is over? Well, if I equals awesome and you equals negative awesome, I plus negative you, awesome plus negative awesome would equal 0. And I'm awesome minus negative awesome is double awesome. So he wasn't too happy about that, apparently. But they'll get that eventually. The rationale, positive and negative numbers are very important to each and everyday life, budget concerns, everything like that. But there are a lot of jobs and integers in the real world. This slideshow that I put in, that I got offline, I think it really kind of speaks to that. Let's take a look at a few of these slides. Speeding, body weight, BMI, golf, of course, music charts, the stock market, positive and negative batteries. We have some computer downloads, some floors in the building, timeline, end of the presentation. The end of their presentation. But there are some budget ones in there too. That was, the obvious one that kids might think of right away. Objectives. Kids need to know the objectives, that they need to use positive and negative numbers, rational numbers, using all the operations. State standards, of course, technology standards for teachers and students here, focusing on creativity and collaboration. So the steps to completion: they need to look at videos, they need to look at some of the other online activities that they have there. They're going to self-assess, get some immediate feedback, and then at the end they're going to have a formative assessment. But this is something that they'll do, and I think I might break it out into a separate sub-page right away, is a pre-assessment. I thought that was a nice image to introduce this on, and they're going to give me their name, their email, and some questions about positive and negative numbers, just to find out their familiarity and to make some flexible grouping. Let's take a look at one of the strands. So right over here, how they'll get to one of the strands is by this sidebar or up here on top. Let's try that. So they'll go to the number system. This drop down will give them the strand by strand. Instead of day by day, I wanted to make sure that they could go at their own pace. So let's take a look at the subtracting integers. Whoop, not that one. The subtracting integers. All right. Sorry, let's use our breadcrumbs to go back to strand by strand and then subtracting integers. All right, there we go. Easy navigation if you created the site. All right, so Google and Apple don't exactly shake hands all that well, so this is a little bit disjointed, but you can see for the most part what's supposed to go on here. I'll have some screen captures later on. Target right up on top. First, they'll watch the video, this Brain Pop video. They'll take do an activity straight after that, actually on the website. This arrow pointing where they're supposed to go, this activity sheet. And they're not able to actually do anything with the activity sheet right on there, but they are able to actually take a screen capture of it because it is an interactive worksheet. And what I want them to do is I want to take that screen capture and actually put it into a shared folder that we have. So what they'll do is they'll need to get that screen capture and go straight to the Google Drive, but I thought it would be easiest just to give a link straight to that shared folder. So this link right here, this image right here is actually a hyperlink that will take it to that shared folder, and it is actually in the Chromebook or the PC mode. They'll be able to see that right next to that text. You'll see that on the screen capture. Right over to the right, this text that's blocking it in this mobile mode is going to be what I thought a little bit of the assistive technology that they're going to be able to actually get that transcript of what the BrainPop video or the another YouTube video is actually going to be. And I did highlight up here some of the important information that they want to get from that. So I thought that was a good strategy for some assistive technology, and that is on each of the strands. After that, they'll take a self-assessment. They get immediate feedback by figuring out these problems, and then what they'll do right next to it on a Chromebook or PC is they'll fill out this survey right here, this Google form. So let's fill it out. 3, -3, 65, and 7. We'll submit that. And it came back that the correct answers were 8, -3, -8, and 9. I've only got one right, so I probably would want to go back and review those rules, look at that video again, and be able to try and redo that the self-assessment. But then I'm going to move on to the online practices, and that actually is right up here. Sumdog.com and some extra practice with adding and subtracting integers, and then they are going to be at any point in time be able to take that formative assessment and see where they're really at with understanding adding and subtracting integers. Finally, let's take a look at the wrap-up and review. This is going to be a little bit of collaboration, actually a lot of bit of collaboration. What they're going to do is they're going to go on to Blogger, and this is a link to Blogger straight from the website, and they're going to reply to this post. They're going to identify their rules for each of the operations involving integers. They're going to reflect on how their family uses add, subtract, multiply, or dividing, positive and negative integers. And then they're going to write a problem using integers for someone to reply and answer to. I'm going to wait to approve all of the messages until they're all approved so that there's no worries about plagiarism, anybody copying off anybody else. And then they're going to actually get in there and respond to each one of these. Let's go back once more to look at some of these project resources. I did use the SlideShare to show that slideshow doing the real-world connection, brainpop.com, and YouTube with Hootamath being one of the ones that I did get some of the videos from. Now let's take a last look at those screen captures. Alright, so the top of the web page would look like this. You have the video matched up right next with the transcript. They would be able to click on the link to get the full transcript. Moving down, they're going to have that activity right next to that Google Drive folder. Then they're going to also be able to move on to that Google Drawing with the survey right next to it, or not the survey, but the Google form right next to it. And then finally, we're going to have this online practice and the formative quiz that they're going to take. I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this and take a look at my website, and thank WLC for giving a great summit. Thank you very much, everybody. God's blessings.